Chapter 70, Plot 3. Jiushang suddenly appeared by Xue Fanxin's side and hid in the dark with her. He stared at the nearby provision room, looking very curious. What was this little girl playing at now? Why are you here again? Xue Fanxin had not seen Jiushang in the past 2 days and had momentarily forgotten about him. Who knew that he would suddenly appear again and even shock her? He was really annoying. Little girl, you have to get used to me appearing by your side at any time, okay? Jiushang gently flicked Xue Fanxin's forehead and teased her. I have something to do now. I can't be bothered with you. Xue Fanxin did not want to waste her time with him. She turned her attention back to the provision room. Seeing a man in black enter the place, she immediately lit the fuse by the side and watched as the sparks approached the storage room. Jiushang was also looking at the sparks on the fuse. He could even sense a strange smell. He really did not know what Xue Fanxin was up to, but he was very interested, so he kept staring. His intuition told him that something interesting was about to happen. At this moment, the black-clothed person was rummaging through the provision room. He saw a trace of digging on the ground, so he started to dig up the dirt, wanting to take out what was hidden inside. There were many miscellaneous items in the provision room. The smell was heavy and unbearable, perfectly covering the smell of gunpowder. Even when the fuse was burnt to the provision room, the black-clothed person did not feel anything. He continued to dig and dig. It was not that the black-clothed person could not sense the burnt smell of the fuse, but he was completely unaware of this kind of thing. He did not understand it at all. Even if he smelled something wrong, he would think that it was because of the stinky things piled in the provision room. He would not think of anything else. Just as the man in black was digging desperately, the fuse had already been burned. Then boom! With a loud bang, the entire provision room was blown up into pieces. Sparks flew everywhere, and many items were thrown into the air before being burned to ashes. The black-clothed person was also sent flying by the explosion. First, he was blown into the air, then he fell and landed heavily on the ground. His entire body was severely burned. If not for him having some ability, he would probably have been blown to pieces. How could this be? Although the black-clothed person was seriously injured and unable to move, he had not fainted. His consciousness was still very clear. Even now, he could not understand why things had turned out like this. Before coming, he had suspected that this might be a trap. But even if it was, he could deal with it with his ability. He had always thought so, but now, why had such a terrifying explosion taken place in the provision room? The explosion was too loud, startling everyone in the Duke's estate. Everyone hurried over, and even Xue Fanxin came with the support of the butler. Jiushang looked at Xue Fanxin in shock. Even he did not know how such a powerful explosion had been made. This little girl was getting more and more interesting. He was liking her more as time passed. Xue Fanxin was indifferent to these things, though. After blasting the black-clothed person out, she walked over to take a look. She kicked him a few times first, and was relieved after making sure that he really had no power to resist. So you're Li Yao's business partner.